a rental housing crisis at the moment because for the last 30 or 40 years, very little purpose-built apartments have come onto the market.
We have renters of every kind of background, every kind of family size, and all over the city in different types of housing, and that makes it very complex.
If you look at the cost of housing for families, we are exacerbating the burden on the rental stock.
To find a place that is, sort of above ground, clean, safe, within the price range is next to impossible.
I could live here forever, and I'd love to put down roots, but at this time I just can't do it financially.
The idea of moving scares me and is something that leaves me with an undercurrent of anxiety.
Up until the mid-1970s, we had tax policies that actually helped to contribute to the creation of a wide variety of rental stock. In the mid-1970s, however, we had tax policy changes that took away some of the benefits to investing in rental housing.
Because we haven't had more purpose-built apartments coming on stream, all the growth has come from secondary suites. Then you have condos that people buy as rental properties. Those are the most expensive type of rental housing.
Unfortunately, we didn't create any new policies to help stimulate the rental housing market. And naturally, over time, more condos were being built. So now, here in Vancouver, it's virtually impossible to build purpose-built rental housing. We have to be more creative in the way we're addressing this problem.
One of the least recognized benefits of having rental housing is so that young professionals who want to work in city centres can be there, close to their offices, because they're not going to pick a city that they can't afford to live in or where they have to commute for hours every day.
I don't have a family. I work a lot, and I love my job, and that's why it's important for me I live close to work, so I can get to work early, because I like to have an early start. I'm a bit of a morning person. For the last 14 years, I've lived and worked around this neighborhood, and I've seen it built up from almost nothing. I feel like I'm really a part of this community, so I really don't want to leave.
When you move into a condo, the odds are you could be asked to leave, or you may just have a fixed term 1-year lease. When it's a purpose-built apartment, the landlord isn't going to change its use. Generally, you could go on living in a purpose-built apartment for years. In certain areas like the West End, you'll see seniors who've lived there for decades.
I chose the West End. I sold my house, and I would have been house poor if I'd reinvested the profit that I made. So I chose to rent. I just love it. It's a wonderful place. All the services are here.
The real problem we face is adequate rental housing for families. There aren't sufficient condos that are for families that are in the rental pool.
Over the last couple of years, we were sort of actively looking for new places, and particularly as the building we were living in has been sold to a developer. There are some places out there that were affordable, that were in the neighborhood, but were in a dark basement with low ceilings, or may have not been clean, safe buildings to, the sort of buildings you want to raise a child in. I mean, the place we have now, we happened to walk by while there was a sign in the window. Called the number, we were, among the first people to call that number, which just seems to be really how you get into the door.
If we do not solve this problem, we're going to have a great societal challenge. We're not going to help the environment because people will have to move further away from their work to find a place they can afford to raise a family. That's going to put more pressure on the sustainability of this region.
I mean, there are opportunities in my industry to go to other places like California, like Toronto, like Montreal, and these are places where I could afford to buy a place. I'd make more money, I'd be able to save up and actually buy a place and put down roots there, but I'd prefer to stay here.
The West End, where seniors have been here for decades, they would maybe be paying $800 a month. So the differential for a landlord in terms of a new tenant is upwards to about 400% per unit.
When you have these situations where you're settled in a place, it gets sold to a developer, you have to move. You have a kind of fragility there, like, you're thinking to yourself, okay, what if I don't find a place in time? Do we have to pull our kid out of our school? Do we have to sort of take her away from her friends? It's a great deal of stress.
We obviously have a serious challenge in front of us with affordable housing. It's one the city has been grappling with for many years, but I think it's as tough as it's ever been for renters in our city who represent the majority of our residents. 52% of the city rents.
This was a renters roundtable, basically to bring a group of renters together from across the city, sharing their stories, their concerns, their hopes, and get a sense of where we need to go from here. We just want to make sure that we have a lot of feedback to ground our strategies going forward. So there was a mix of those stories, and people were bringing ideas forward, next steps that we can take as a city. And so it was a good, healthy mix, and we're looking forward to a lot more activity online and other conferences that we're gathering.
It's really important that the general public understands that city planners are the ones who can ensure this orderly growth. But the change is coming anyway, so it can either be a planned growth or it can just be a messy growth.
If we're able to come together collectively, that means all levels of government, the private sectors, our nonprofit groups, the tenants groups, and actually work on tax policy, actually work on innovative design. Vancouver would be a place for all income levels to live in good housing.
Safe, secure, accessible, affordable housing is a basic right. So we need very creative thinking if we want to keep a diverse community, and seniors are part of that diversity.
What affordable, livable city means on just a pure numbers game is that people are going to have to live in smaller apartments. People are going to have to live in condos and share resources.
The city has its own tools that we can put to better use to try and get more rental housing built and to protect the rental housing that we have across the city. We got to focus on this. It means a lot to those of us elected on a platform to build affordable housing and help create the solutions for affordability.